Right, so we are going to be starting a digital brainstorm, and I want to be able to share with you guys a couple of ways that you can think about your current ideas and sort of build on them. So, what you're going to need is paper, pencil, post it notes, maybe a sketchbook. So, my name is Beata, and I'll be leading your session today. And so, the goal is to turn your ideas into crystal clear plans of action to create artwork of your dreams. So, this is a really quick study of how to do it. Um, so, you want to make sure you have those materials. So, I'll wait a little bit. I'll talk about myself. So, I'm an artist, illustrator, and a teacher. And I've recently decided that I'm going to focus mainly on painting. And I always thought, it takes too much time, which it does. It does take time to paint as opposed to, drawing, for example. But that's the thing. I'm making the choice. I'm making the commitment to do that, to transition over to more painting. Still love drawing, but yeah, I'm choosing to do more painting because I'm exploring. I'm exploring different parts of my style, and I want to interpret it in different ways. So I don't want to just block myself to like drawing with ink. But yeah, so hopefully you have some writing materials ready. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw or doodle a couple of emojis on how you feel doing this brainstorming, right? So sometimes we feel stuck, and that's why we do brainstorming. We participate in a brainstorming session. But the fact that like we're already kind of sketching an emoji can kind of warm us up to the act of brainstorming. So yes, we're getting those creative juices flowing. And hopefully you've done a couple emojis. They don't have to be, super realistic. So the digital brainstorm. So when you're starting on a new project, you have a variety of ideas. You have a variety of directions, hopefully, that you want to go in. Possibly a variety of symbols that are kind of like your go-tos, right? So you want to think about any thoughts, ideas, or inspirations that you already exist, kind of as your foundation for creating paintings. Could be a color scheme, right? Maybe that you're working more with warm colors or cool colors or neutral colors or black and white or gray. Set some sort of a foundation, like a platform, and that's where we're going forward from there. So you want to kind of jot down different ones depending on what you want. And that's why I said post-it notes, because let's say you have 6 different ones. You can use 6 post-it notes for all of your paintings. And if you like, you can name them like mystical portraits. That's my kind of direction that I've been going in. I was doing astrology portraits for quite some time, and it just sort of transitioned into mystical portraits. So that meaning I use a lot of mysticism and symbols in my paintings. So stars, the moon, planets, different flowers that have whole different meanings, that type of thing. So what I want you to focus on now, hopefully you have your ideas down. The next step is I'm going to get you to focus on your top 3 artworks that you want to explore. So now these artworks can, but don't have to exist. Like if you have a painting already and you want to maybe use that one as an example, right? So take the painting that you have, and what you're going to do is like write down 3 points about it that, that make people get pulled into the painting. So right now I'm looking at a portrait I have of my daughter and myself, and it has the flowers. It's got the flowers going on. It has hair, and it's a braid, and then it has our actual faces. So those are 3 things that pull people in, okay? There can be more, but it's nice to focus. Less is more, because then we get distracted. And so then what you're going to do is do that for each of your painting ideas. So 3 artworks. We're aiming for 3 artworks, right? I mean, if one is all is all you can think of right now, that's fine, no biggie. And then what you're going to do is kind of circle which ideas feel like the number one, feel like the spotlight of the painting. So for this one, it's a portrait, so obviously it's going to be the painting of my daughter and myself, right? That's the number one. You want to think about what are you trying to share, right? So if that helps. So yeah, you want to do that for each of your paintings, your ideas that you have, and list the 3 things that pull people in, that make people want to stare at your paintings and be like, wow, what's happening there? Wow, that's beautiful, right? What are those 3 things? And then you're going to circle the one. And if you have 3 or 6 or however many ideas, you do that for each one. And the cool thing is you're going to start noticing some sort of a trend, some sort of a pattern. And this can help you if you are feeling stuck. It can help you decide, what is the thing that's trying to come out? What are you trying to express most? So that's really cool about brainstorming is the more you do it, the more clarity you're going to get. But you have to actually participate in the reflection process afterwards, right? So we're brainstorming our ideas, but then we're reflecting afterwards. That's the key. So yeah, let's see. So the next way to kind of ease into a painting, sort of out of the brainstorming session and into the painting, is choosing the next step. So what are you going to do next? What is the next step of this process? And so what I like to focus on is what are the first 2 things that I'm going to start on with this painting. So it could be the research. You could be a research-based person where you're like, well, I need to get all my reference pictures. I need to get all the symbols that I'm using. I need to do color theory, and figure out which colors I'm using. That's 3 there. But yeah, figure out what are the first 2 steps for you. Maybe you already know you have everything and you're going to get right to sketching or priming your canvas, depending on the scenario, right? Depending on how far along you are with this painting. Like maybe it's just thin air right now, it's just an idea. So that is the next tangible thing you can do, those 2 steps. And hopefully that kind of shakes you out of any creative rut or artist block that you might be feeling. Now, if it doesn't, and you need to, further, like let's say you do the 2 steps and you're still feeling stuck. If you have a library you can go to and sit and like look at magazines and sketch, or if you have life drawing classes accessible to you, you can try those options. Sometimes getting out of your actual space, your studio, and going outside can help you get those ideas flowing, going, and feeling, renewed and inspired. But yeah, collecting. I love collecting images. And If you have Pinterest, then that's also a no-brainer. You don't have to leave the house, but I always say leave the house. Go get inspired. Sketching in a cafe is fantastic. Nobody needs to know. Who's going to know, right? And then if you have done all of these steps, you can, once again, reflect on those steps. Well, I've done this, this, this. These are my findings, right? And it just further hones in on what exactly you're doing. It gives you a little bit more certainty, right? And I feel like that's always nice to have some certainty. But yes, reflecting in this brainstorming process, so important. Setting some goals, and if all else fails, go and draw outside, draw people, sketch people. But yes, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out. Good luck with your paintings. Let me know how it goes.